Welcome to the Wedding Business Growth Coach podcast, a podcast dedicated to sharing everything you need in bite-sized episodes to set up your wedding business for success and get your diary fully booked, full of those dream wedding clients. You're here with me, Jen Maynard, Wedding Business Growth Coach and founder of the Boho Bride Guide wedding blog and supply directory. Each episode is full of value and structured around my wedding business anchor fundamentals framework to give you straightforward, step-by-step activities to put in place into your business that will position yourself as the go-to wedding supplier within your specialism. Let's go! Hello and welcome to this episode of the Wedding Business Growth Coach podcast. It is amazing to have you here with me. And I'm very excited today to be welcoming the fabulous Abi Eva with us from Live Intuitively. Abi is a health and wellbeing coach and specialises in supporting women, empowering them to improve their own wellbeing on their own terms. I recently met Abi at a mompreneur networking event. And as some of you may well be aware, I've had a bit of a tough time recently, keeping all the mom plates spinning with poorly children and so on and so on. And I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to speak in a bit more depth to Abi, all around self-care and how we can implement it into our daily lives without having to make it a big thing or, it can be interwoven into everyday activities without getting stressed about it and thinking it's another thing to do on the list kind of thing. So what we're going to cover is what we're going to demystify some myths around self-care, aren't we? Yeah. And, look at what self-care really means in simple terms. We're going to look at how stress and overwhelm may well be turning up in our bodies, the sort of signs and symptoms that we need to be aware of, because especially actually coming from the corporate world, that those stress symptoms you tend to normalize. When life gets so busy, you can easily normalize this sort of tummy churning, going to the loo, or however it turns up in you. Whereas actually let's clarify what it could be feeling for you, and actually how self-care can counteract those signs and symptoms. And over and all, we're going to be looking at how by taking care of ourselves, we will be taking care of our business. Because as most of us are solopreneurs within the wedding business, we very well know we are our biggest asset, but also our biggest risk. And if we don't look after ourselves, things can quickly go tumbling down if our health and well-being and mental health, especially, things can, go south, as we shall say. So I've done far too much talking. Abi, welcome.
Thank you.
The very first question I've got for you is, I'd just like to know a little bit about your story and how you got into the wellbeing world.
Yeah, so I did a health coaching qualification during, I kind of started it before lockdown. Lockdown gave me the opportunity to finish that off nicely because I had loads of time at home. I did that. And then I went on to do a further course in intuitive eating and also a diploma in mindfulness. So I have grouped them all together and here's my business.
Amazing. And what attracted you to the wellbeing world? What was the pull?
For years, I worked in a children's centre. So I was working a lot with new mums and vulnerable families. And, there was a lot of work around mental health and general wellbeing, and very much on the preventative side. So, when I kind of was dreaming up my business, if you like, I spoke to a lot of women and I was horrified really at the preoccupation with our bodies and our exercise and our food and things like that, because I think we all, we're kind of slotted into diet culture in this country in particular, and it's everywhere we look. So yeah, it's kind of about dispelling all of that. And I think that all starts with self-care, because if we have really good self-care, we value ourselves more, and then we kind of go on to make healthier choices, whether that's in our personal lives or our business, or hopefully the whole thing. So I just kind of I've always had a love of helping people and helping them get the best out of themselves. So
amazing.
Yeah,
good stuff. So at Live Intuitively, what is your ethos around maintaining balance in implementing more self-care into the routine without having to put additional time into the day as such?
Yeah, so I'm all about making it manageable. And that's true whether I'm looking at self-care or exercise or food, health, any of that. I think, we're kind of overwhelmed enough, we're stressed, and we need things to be really manageable and simple. So in terms of self-care, that means changing up the way that we do everyday tasks, if you like. So a classic example is brushing your teeth in the morning, hopefully in the evening as well. But, brushing your teeth for those 2 minutes. You can be buzzing while you're thinking about your day and planning your to-do list, or writing your shopping list in your head, or, calling out to your children to hurry up and get dressed, that kind of thing. Or you can just take those 2 minutes to really tune into the sound of the toothbrush, the feel of it, the taste of your toothpaste, all those kind of mindfulness acts, if you like, that just switch off your brain just for 2 minutes. And if you add up doing that across your whole day, it really makes a big kind of difference in the end to how calm you are. So
with you. And so would you say almost like functional tasks that are taking place in your every day anyway, putting the kettle on and waiting for it to boil, it's sort of activities that you would be doing anyway, it's actually doing that more mindfully and actually turning that part of your brain off to just be present and take that moment.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. I mean, that isn't the whole self-care story for me. There are other things you can do, and I'll go into that in a minute, but in terms of the everyday self-care, it's definitely about, and you can expand on that, but that is a great place to start with anything like you say, making a cup of tea, waiting for the kettle to boil, putting makeup on, brushing your hair, getting dressed, all those kind of activities that you do anyway. It is definitely about making them more mindful. So
and so would you say that is the first step for anyone that hears the term self-care and actually that makes them cringe slightly because they're like, I haven't got time for self-care?
Definitely.
Is that where they need to start? Because anyone can implement that. There is no excuse actually for, even when my 2 and 4-year-old are running around crazy, I could still take even 10 seconds just to take that, what I always like to do actually is if I'm feeling that level of overwhelm get above here, I actually finish the task that I'm doing, I celebrate with a cup of tea, and actually, especially when the weather's been nice, get outside, take my shoes off and actually just walk on the grass. And for me that is a massive being out in the outdoors actually as well. Just that little thing really does help me like refocus and celebrate with the tea and off we go again kind of thing.
Definitely.
Okay, so how does self-care counteract the effects of stress?
So you are able to calm yourself down when you're kind of stressed. Your nervous system is kind of split into 2 parts, if you like, to simplify it. So you've got the sympathetic nervous system, which is where the stress hormones kind of start from. And that is responsible for your kind of increased heart rate and your sweating and, breathing sharply and quickly. And then you've got the parasympathetic nervous system, which it does the opposite. So that's like activates the kind of relaxation response, if you like. And you can you can kick that on when you need to, by doing things like deep breathing and stuff like that. So you can actually kind of make the changes yourself. So
it's really helpful to visualize the two, and you've got to like push up so it's the
parasympathetic
that you want
that you want to, because that's the kind of relaxation response in you. So you need to wake that up, really.
Wow, okay.
So you are in control of that to a degree, obviously. It's looking in terms of a kind of ongoing chronic stress, which you may not even be noticing anymore, like you're snappy at people, and you're not very good at making decisions, and you're not sleeping very well, or you have digestive issues, that kind of thing. All that you can actually change that by altering how you kind of look after yourself, and so calming yourself down. So if you want, I can do a quick there's like a 3-minute breathing space, we call it. So I don't know if you want to do that now. Just you could use this as a sort of a break from work, or at the end of a meeting before you transition onto another task. So can we time 3 minutes?
Yes,
or
let's do it. There you go.
So the first minute, if you just kind of sit comfortably, and you're just going to take some deep breaths. And you just want to use this minute really to check in with yourself. So kind of visualize, if you want to do it from head to toe or toe to head, just do a quick scan over your body. And don't try and kind of change anything. Just notice any sensations you've got. Notice any thoughts that are going through your mind. Don't try and fix them or judge them. Any feelings you might be experiencing. It's just all about noticing and checking in with yourself. And in the next minute, we're just going to focus entirely on our breathing. So you just want to direct your attention to the physical sensation of your breathing. So you might be noticing your chest moving up and down, or your rib cage expanding. And follow your breath down as it comes in, and up as it comes out. And just keep bringing your attention back to your breath. So don't worry if your mind wanders. If you notice you've started thinking about things, just notice your breath again. And that might mean listening to it or feeling it, or both. And then in the last minute, it's similar to the first, but you're not really doing any checking in now. So just bring your awareness back to your body, back to your thoughts and your emotions, but you're just kind of bringing yourself back to where you are. You might notice what you're sitting on, the feel of the chair, how your body feels. All the while not judging any thoughts, just watching them pass by. And that is the end of it.
That was... My head felt really heavy.
Did it?
Yeah. I hope that don't go off again.
Yeah.
That in 3 minutes, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's,
wow.
I know that, my big thing is not taking extra time, and I do absolutely stand by that in terms of the kind of toothbrushing and face cream and all those other little tasks, but just having that little exercise up your sleeve can really make a difference if you kind of can slot that in, even if it's every 2 hours in your day.
Definitely. And 3 minutes, it's like, and you can sort of remember what each of the minutes are. And it feels quite a decent amount of time, even though it's just 3 minutes at your day. You feel like you've been through something that's relaxing and refreshing kind of thing.
So
brilliant.
You can use that.
Thank you. I'm going to keep that one up my sleeve for sure. My next question is, how might someone listening identify the need to implement more micro self-care into their daily routine?
I mean, I think if we're honest, we all know.
It's all might be slightly different. But
I meet lots of people who say, oh, I never have time for self-care. I know I should be prioritizing myself. I know I need to look after myself. And you think, actually, we do know. We do tend to. But, it's some of the things that I mentioned earlier in terms of stress. So, you kind of might find yourself feeling overwhelmed quite easily, even with daily tasks, and you might be more forgetful, get brain fog, kind of struggle to make decisions, never mind about the physical things, sweaty palms and quick breathing and stuff like that. So it's kind of how stress really shows up for you, and that is an individual thing. But if that's an issue for you, I and even if it's not, to be fair, I would recommend trying to adopt some of these simple self-care, whatever the word is, traits.
As a starter, just to feel the benefits, and then hope you'll start implementing more so when you actually see that what you're gaining from it, kind of thing.
And it's worth remembering really that mindfulness and meditation are one and the same in a way,
because you do hear those words and sometimes you might think it's more than it is, but actually it is what we've just talked and been through kind of thing.
And it's becoming more well known now that meditation and mindfulness are really, really beneficial for us. And I like to see meditation as the training, if you like, and the mindfulness throughout your day is like the match, in a kind of sporting analogy. So if you do some form of formal meditation, and that can be 3 minutes,
with you,
then it enables you to better maintain the kind of mindfulness throughout your day
with you,
which is what we're all aiming for, really. So
that makes sense. So meditation is the training, mindfulness is the
match
the
fit.
Okay. No, I'll remember that. That's good. My last question was around, just to really clarify and sort of hit home for those wedding suppliers that are sort of really task orientated and product, they want to see productivity and they almost don't have time, or in their minds that's how they've framed it. How can small time spent on self-care, how can it impact sort of productivity? Like what could we be seeing, just to hit home that point?
I mean, I just urge you all really to give it a go, because I think we all have had those days where you get really into a task and you're like, I've got to finish it, I've got to, and you're like clocking up 2 hours without any form of break. Then certainly for me, I get to the point where I'm like reading stuff and nothing goes in, or I'm writing and I think I don't know, I've lost my train of thought, and then I think I need a brain break, really, you know. So in terms of just either using that 3 minute breathing space, or making a cup of tea mindfully. Yesterday, I was sat at my desk on the computer and it just started raining and the paddling pool's still in the garden, and I was like, I found myself just glancing out the window. I was like, right, I'm on TikTok and I filmed it for 10 seconds, just the rain falling into the paddling pool, and you just watch that for 10 seconds, all those tiny little things, and then you're kind of ready to go again, and you've refreshed your brain, you've given it a bit of a time out, and then you kind of you're better able then to concentrate on your kind of next chunk of work. So
brilliant.
I just think you can keep going for longer, but be more efficient at the same time. So
and for people that start implementing self-care, how does that then fall into the sort of confidence arena and how you feel about yourself? From your working with clients, what have you seen?
Yeah, definitely. I think that if you do start taking better care of yourself, and you're prioritizing yourself, you actually come to appreciate that you are worthy of things, and you value yourself more. And definitely it affects your confidence, in a positive way.
Oh, and I suppose from a business decision making point of view, I suppose that's what I wanted to pick up on, that if your confidence grows, if you're implementing self-care and you're putting yourself as that priority, then business decisions that you may have made and thought, right, no, I can't ask for any help, I can't, I've got to do it all, and actually you're actually thinking, I am worthy of help, and I need to start looking at ways to ask for more help to start with. And I've written down some ways that we can actually help from a business point of view, but actually self-care is the start. It's about caring for yourself and asking for help, finding areas of your life that you can ask for help. So things like functional tasks. So for me, as a busy mom, I've actually got a cleaner, because I physically can't, if I want to do what I want to do in my businesses, I can't do everything, and it's not shameful to ask for help. And it's an area of my life that I can hand over to someone else and it be okay, and that task will get done, and it takes it off my shoulders.
Definitely.
Not all of it, because there's a lot of cleaning up to do after children, but it definitely helps. I've noted down things like other outsourcing opportunities. Have a think about what other functional tasks are you carry out that you could hand over to someone else. I know it's that juggling act of money and balancing that, but when you get to a point in your business, the earlier you are able to start outsourcing those administration functional tasks, the more time you can spend doing the stuff that you're brilliant at. What else did I mention? Potentially trying not to please all of your clients. Any inquiries, it's not about you bending what you are all about to fit their request. It's looking at what packages and products that you can create that you can sort of pick off off your shelf and implement, rather than creating bespoke offerings every time that add time through quotation, time and energy, creating all of these individual products each time. So looking at what you can create products and packages wise.
And I think that does tie in nicely with boundaries.
Very true.
And looking after your own boundaries, and therefore looking after yourself and your mental health and well-being and stuff. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
And those by having the confidence and feeling worthy, actually your boundaries will become more clear, and what your protection, isn't it, really? Definitely. Your self-care protection.
That's it.
And I lastly noted down, choose your one thing for that day. We've all got so many hats that we wear. We're trying to juggle so many elements of work, life, caring responsibilities, maintaining vehicles, all the boring stuff that we have to do, that actually each day I love to think about, okay, out of all of my list, what is that one thing I need to achieve, and actually celebrate when you have achieved that one thing. And celebrate with a cup of tea like I do. But
a mindful one.
Finding something mindful that you enjoy, that you can celebrate with, because it's a marathon, not a sprint kind of thing. Definitely. And we've got to maintain our well-being throughout building our amazing businesses.
That's it.
And I understand you've got a bit of a quote that you want to leave us with, but before we do that, Where can people find out more about you and how you help women and their wellbeing?
So I've got a website, liveintuitively.co.uk.
Fabulous.
And I'm also on Instagram and now TikTok, but forgive me because I'm brand new.
All good.
And they're both at _liveintuitively.
Brilliant. What would you like to leave us with?
So I apologise to the person who came up with this quote because I don't know how to pronounce her surname.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with Brianna Wiest.
Okay.
Wiest. She says, true self-care is not salt baths and chocolate cake. It's making the choice to build a life you don't need to regularly escape from.
Wow.
So bear that in mind.
That's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
It is about doing those little things that, just keep you at an even keel.
Wow.
So you can...
creating a life that you don't want to escape from.
Yeah.
Wow. Love it. Thank you so much, Abby. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. And good luck with all of your ventures.
Thanks very much.
Download your free Who Do You Serve activity pack that takes you through the step-by-step activities to focus in on your niche and position yourself as the go-to wedding supplier within your specialism. Download it today following the link in the podcast show notes or visit my website weddingbusinessgrowthcoach.com/biz-resources. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and took away some wedding business building value. Make sure you subscribe to the Wedding Business Growth Coach podcast to ensure you get notified every time a new episode goes live. See you next time.